is Bethany Nelson. I'm a history major and I studied for spring 2016 in London. I lived in a homestay, so it was northern London. It was almost like a suburb, so I had a little bit longer of a commute, like 40 minutes or so, but it wasn't bad. So I lived with a family of 5 and it was fantastic. There was like a 12-year-old host brother and an 18-year-old host brother, and then a sister who was 19 that was at university, so she was kind of coming in and out. At first I was kind of wavering, thinking maybe I'd want the apartment, but I also knew that everybody doing the program would be American, and so I would just be living with other American students, which is what I do here. So I figured, well, the cultural aspect is a little more important, and even if the commute is a little longer, it would still be fine. I mean, they made me feel very welcome and gave me a lot of hints as to how to like kind of fit in with the country. They corrected my language a lot, which was really entertaining. I told them that like a trash can was blocking the sidewalk on my way home or something along those lines. And they just looked at me and they said, sidewalk? That doesn't compute. What's a sidewalk? And I guess they call it the pavement. The program that I did was through CAPA, so the Center for Academic Programs Abroad. And they were really good at finding an internship that fit most everybody's needs. I worked at the Foundling Museum, so it's a really small museum. People have no idea what it is half the time, but that's what made it fun. It talks about the Foundling Hospital, and so it was Britain's first orphanage, first children's charity, and then first public art gallery. I did a variety of things. I was often on the front desk, so it was kind of like cashier work, selling tickets, giving information to visitors, and kind of being that first interaction that people have when they come into the museum. And then I'd also be stationed in different galleries, so we had historic rooms that had all sorts of paintings and artifacts in it, and so I was kind of in there to answer any questions, be almost like security, and then kind of interpret the room for them and like what it meant in its historical context. One day I got out of class early and then went to St. Paul's Cathedral in kind of like the downtown London area. And usually I preferred like exploring with other people, but that day I just figured, whatever, I just gotta do this for me, like this is what I want to see. And so I ended up going in there, and they had 3 different galleries that you could climb to. So you'd basically be climbing up 170 stairs to get to one gallery, and then like 180 to the next, and then the next. And you can just look out and just see basically all of London and look down, and it was terrifying, and it was so much fun, and I enjoyed just doing that like in my last week. I think one of the biggest differences I noticed is we have a lot more field trips when we're in London, which I really liked because you were able to really apply what kind of things you were learning to the actual city. And so, for example, I took a detective fiction class, and so we were looking at Sherlock Holmes and different Agatha Christie books and things like that, and a lot of them took place in London. And so we took like walking tours through the city that kind of went along with our class, and so we would stop at a certain spot and say, oh hey, this is where this happened in this Sherlock Holmes book, or things like that. Whenever you think about the future and something new, it's always scary, but then I think, hey, I lived in another country and adapted to it within 2 weeks, so I'll be fine. I definitely had more self-confidence by the time that I came back, and more independence, because I realized that, oh hey, I can actually do this and I can do it on my own.